Hi, it's Becky. Recently, someone asked if there was a way to have learners independently identify labeled items in a diagram. This slide is an example of how that might work using text entries and a Pick One Quiz question. You could use any kind of a diagram. In my case, I was using this one, so I typed in the question, inserted the character, and placed the labels on the slide. Also, you'll see that offstage I have two boxes, correct and incorrect, and I'll talk more about those in a couple of minutes. Next, we need the text entries. This is where the learners will type in their answers. Two of them have been inserted already to save time. I'm going to do the third one, and the way to do that is to go to Insert, and then you want a data entry, and it's a text entry. And I'm going to come down here and click and drag to place that box, that text entry box on the slide. Give me a minute while I type in my own text. Now that that's done, I want this one to look like the others, so I'm going to click on this text entry box, come up to the Format Painter, and click, and I'm all set. For good housekeeping purposes, and to be sure that everything is the way you want it to be, it's a good idea to come down to the timeline and label these text entries. You can see that I've done two of them already. Pardon my bad French. One of them is le cou, and that's for the neck, and le bras, and that's for the arms. And now I need to label this one, which is la jambe, and that's for the leg. Also, for good housekeeping purposes, I want to label these correctly in the Manage Project Variables area. So I'll click here. Notice that I've done the first two already, and that Storyline puts default text in. So I'll change that. And we'll leave the value blank. Now we need to convert this to a freeform quiz, and the reason is because the graded fill in the blank does not allow for the learners to type in more than one answer. So what you would do is go to Insert and then Convert to Freeform. Mine says Remove because I've already done that to save time. Yours would say Convert to Freeform. You don't want the text entry because that also will not allow for more than one answer. But you do want to pick one. When you choose that, this is the window that you'll see. I'm just going to scoot it over here. And you'll need to click and drop down and choose the correct and incorrect boxes. Remember, those are off stage over here. You'll choose those, and the correct one needs to be indicated as the correct choice, and you'll save and close. Now we need a way to tell Storyline when to show those correct and incorrect layers. That's done with triggers. And again, I've started mine to save time, but I'll double click on them and explain what's done. So what we want to do is change the state of this correct box to selected. When that happens, it will show the correct layer when the user clicks the Submit button, but only on condition that they get all of the answers correct. So we need to add in that last answer here. And it needs to be equal to ignore case. That just means we don't care if they do upper or lower case. And that's the correct value. So all of these need to be correct. You also need to tell Storyline how to show the incorrect layer, and that's by changing the state of the incorrect rectangle to selected when the user clicks the Submit button, but only on condition that they get any of the answers incorrect. Notice we're using OR here for the condition, so we need to choose OR, and we need to add this one, and it needs to be not equal to that correct answer. So if any of the answers are not correct. The other thing you want to be careful of here is to be sure that the Submit trigger is at the bottom. Initially, that's not what happens, so you'll need to be sure to drag it to the bottom. Let's preview now and see how I do. I'm actually going to make a mistake deliberately. Let's see if you can catch it. Give me a second while I type in the answers. So I don't know if you caught it. There's an incorrect answer here. I'll submit. So you can see that I typed in the masculine, and it should have been the feminine for la jambe. So by labeling a diagram, learners must recall the correct answers. If that's what you need, give it a try with a freeform Pick One question in Storyline.